Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. This is the Daily Tarot for Tuesday, the 4th of January. Let me just check I've got that date right. Days and, Tuesday the 4th. It's all still a little bit mixed up. Right, I have shuffled, so I will cut. This is a major arcana reading. Okay. Lovers in the reverse. Sun in the reverse. And the Hermit. Okay. Well, there's something to consider today then. Something to consider. Perhaps a choice we made at some point hasn't turned out how we hoped it would, or how we perhaps thought it would. And our essential solitary nature kind of rears its head. This is something to do with partnership, with a sharing thing. Hasn't worked out, and we're having a good, strong, very quiet think about it. And what seemed like the potential for happiness, because we never choose anything that we don't think is going to work. Whatever it is we are hoping to bring about, we never deliberately choose in a way that we know is going to block us or thwart us or kind of drain away the possibility and the potential for getting what we want. We never choose that way. We always choose in what we think is the best way for our happiness. Okay, and that's the whole thing about karma, isn't it? You know, we take a choice based on, here's the choice going on here, based on our desire for this, that, or the other, and then we trot off down the road of that karmic endeavour. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It very rarely works or doesn't work in a kind of complete way. It's very rarely a complete success or fulfillment or a complete failure or blockage. Very, very rarely. It's almost always a kind of mishmash of bits that worked out, bits that didn't work out, bits that worked out in ways that we wouldn't have foreseen. Okay, so, but yeah, the hope here with this sunshine coming up from behind the clouds. Here we move on to the sun above the clouds. Something didn't work out. Now, whether this is for us or collectively, or just perhaps as an idea for something, didn't come to anything. It didn't work out. It didn't get us to the happy ending that we were hoping for. And like I say, we always choose with a happy ending in mind. Always. And it's wonderful. And that's a natural thing to do. But yeah, here we are. The Hermit. And this sun, this story of this sunlight, here all the potential breaking through the clouds, here it's broken through the clouds, here it is concentrated in this tiny little flame. And this tiny little flame is a piece of this, okay? It's a piece of this. And it glows in his heart as well. So yeah, there's an examination of choices made and how things turned out. Now, I'm not saying that it all went wrong necessarily. I mean, okay, these two cards are in the reverse. This could just be kind of reappraising stuff that has gone on in the past in order to learn from it, because the Hermit wants to learn. The Hermit wants to learn. The Hermit wants to learn what it means to be who and what he is, and what it means to be a little fragment of this, what it is to be this tiny little flame and be guided by this tiny little flame. What that means. He wants to learn. Okay, so we have the moon. So what we have here with these three sources of light here, or these three depictions of sunlight, here we have yet another depiction of sunlight. We have the sunlight bouncing off the face of the moon. So there's something going on in this learning process today, encapsulated in the hermit, ensconced and inhabited by the hermit, to do with interpretation of things. If I can be so vague as to say things like that, because the moon interprets the light of the sun. It has no light generating capacity of its own. It's an interpretative tool. So perhaps tools of interpretation, models of interpretation might be useful on this day of contemplation. Oh. There she is, how lovely. Okay, the High Priestess. So, you know, we do know what this is about, really. And this is a day, thus far in this reading, we've got one more card to go, for being really, really kind to ourselves, really kind to ourselves, and being as kind to ourselves as we would to a kitten or a best friend or a beloved family member. There's there's a separation here. I mean, in order to be kind to ourselves and to have compassion for ourselves and to have self-care, we have to be able to view ourselves as a separate entity. There has to be the carer and the cared for, the one who loves and the beloved. So in a sense, what we have to do, this is what's happening in the moon here, you see, is being very, very clear in ourselves on this day, in the context of this reading, very, very clear in ourselves that we are not only the self that we are also an object in the world. Okay, and this is a quite unusual interpretation for me, in any case, of the High Priestess card. We do exist as an object in the world, like all the other objects and all the other people. So in that sense, there is a kind of gap between who we are and the object that we are in the world. So if we are able to make good use of that gap, and that is this thing about reflection and interpretation, if we are able to make really positive use of the capacity that the human mind has to view ourselves as someone and something, an object worthy of love and care on this day. That's, I think, what the High Priestess is inviting us to do in conjunction with the moon here. Yeah, it's a day for tenderness towards oneself. Well, all's well that ends well then, isn't it? Okay, there's the world. All right, now this is almost like, I would say, the last day of something that has been hard. Choices that have been taken and upshots that have and haven't been attained, and results and kind of fulfillment that has and hasn't been attained. Really, really giving us pause for thought. But I think this is the end of a long cycle, I have to say. And I think if we are able to enact this very positive act of self-love on this day, and it's not easy to do. The more rooted we are in the identification with our body and our character and ourselves as like viewed from the inside, in order to do this self-love thing, we have to view ourselves from the outside. That's, as I say, what's happening here with this reflected light. It's not direct, it's reflected. We have to be able to view ourselves from the outside. But in doing so, we enact something, we manifest something that can take us forward in more ways than we could possibly imagine. Right, I am going to leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.